Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
God.
helps so
Oh my
much.
God, it's changed my life.
Yeah.
It's changed my life. I actually wanted to make a PowerPoint presentation about how I used to be ugly, but then I was like, no, maybe you can't do that.
What?
People are gonna get mad.
No,
'Cause,
you
like,
totally.
Because
No, you totally could because you're not ugly anymore, or would it be because you're making fun of ugly people?
No, it's
through
just
the
that like
PowerPoint.
no, it's just like whenever I talk about like how I used to be ugly, my friends get mad at me. They're like, Maeve, you never used to be ugly. Like, if you say that again, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Aw.
And I'm like, they're saying it out of love, but I know that I can't get on stage and say that because like everyone in the audience will be like, bitch.
Come on, yeah,
Bitch. I'll think it's funny though.
yeah. We know,
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
I'll think it's hilarious.
Right. I was gonna ask, are you going to like Fergie's or anything tonight? I don't know how long if you have a time limit. Yeah, fuck that. I don't know.
Fuck
I
that.
don't know stage of your career. I'm too good for Fergie's.
No, it's not that I'm good. I'm not too good for Fergie's. I
Yeah.
love Fergie's. It's just that I don't want to.
Oh, that.
You know what's? Here's the thing. I'm not too good for Fergie's, but I do feel like I'm in a place in my career where I don't have to go to every single open mic every single night.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
The fact that I now feel comfortable enough to pick and choose and not feel like I'm gonna lose everything that I've built up is great.
Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah.
Because I had this like feeling where I was just like grasping at everything. I was like, oh God, I have to go to every single open mic or else if I stop, I'm going to fail and then I'm going to flop and then everyone's going to forget who I am. And I'm like, no, people know me.
Yeah.
And I can like not go.
You're established now. I think this
Good.
is where we should start because we want to talk
Yeah.
about the thing. Ladies and gents, welcome back to Articulate with Maeve.
Hi.
Maeve Hennessey.
Hey.
Hey, Maeve.
And Steve McJones.
And also me, I'm here as well. How's it going?
Good.
Good?
Well, no.
Well.
Well.
We don't have to talk about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, but we're talking about. So you've reached this place in college. So Maeve, actually, I don't know if we've ever done. The last time you came on, we talked about the Arctic Monkeys. So did we? We probably didn't even do a rundown of your background at all, right?
No, not really. We didn't
So
even...
just so that people know, give us a little rundown of how you got where you are.
Oh boy. Whoa. Well, I was born. Comedy wise, I guess.
Yeah, so
just
like
the comedy
I
bullets.
know you did improv back in the day, right?
Yeah, I did improv.
Is that where you started? Were you into like, making funny videos when you were a kid? Like, did you sing? Did you? Were you a nerd?
Yeah. Well, I
He's like,
did.
yeah.
Well, I did theater in high school. Not like
Okay.
performing. I was in stage crew.
But you were around it.
Yeah,
and
I
you
was
hung out with the people.
involved. I was
You were
involved.
Too funny. They were.
I would have just lit up
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stage too much.
Right.
I would have just blown everyone away so bad that no one else could audition.
Yeah.
They said, Maeve, we're gonna keep you at an arm's length.
Keep it on.
Go to the wood shop.
That's actually what in college. I tried to get into an improv group, and they said that I was like trying to take over the scene a lot of the time,
What?
which is possible. I don't know. I mean, it happens sometimes. Like if I'm trying to be funny, I can see how that would get annoying. I didn't see it that way, and it felt good in the moment. It made good scenes.
Yeah.
But I think I was like breaking one of the rules where it's like you're not supposed to put yourself above other people like in the scene.
Yeah.
So
Supposed to help everybody else out.
yeah, and
classic.
it was like a rock climbing scenario,
Mm.
and they were like, "How do we figure out how to climb up this rock?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll be the instructor," and like try to, and he's like, "I can't be the instructor then, because then you're above."
Oh
like,
yeah.
higher
Well, teaching scenes, bad.
teaching scenes.
Teaching scenes.
Oh, really?
Any scene where you're like teaching someone something is gonna be a bad scene.
Huh.
You're one of the rules of improv is that whatever you're doing, you're supposed to be an expert in,
Mm,
but you're not supposed to do teaching scenes.
yeah.
Which is like if you're an expert, it would be implied that you would be like teaching someone else who isn't an expert how to do it.
Right.
But like
You're not
you're
allowed
not supposed
to teach.
you're not supposed to do that. Well, it's not that you can do teaching scenes that can be good.
Mhm.
It's just harder because like you're not doing a scene where you're like establishing a relationship. You're doing a scene where it's a step-by-step thing and it kind of throws away the establishing of you and the character and how you guys know each other as people.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
When did you start?
I
Improv?
I technically started in high school. I was in like,
Okay.
my high school had an improv club that was like, we met during lunch.
So you're a big nerd.
I know.
You're
Yeah.
far.
But like, I like, that was the first time I ever did it. And I wasn't in that, like, we met very infrequently because there weren't that many members. But
Right.
after that, I don't know, I did high school theater, but stage crew, which wasn't performing, but it like taught me how to talk to people in front of like a big crowd. Because
Okay.
I was like, I rose through the ranks and became like assistant stage manager, and then like eventually I stage managed. So like, it taught me how to, I don't know, public speak.
Yeah.
And then in college, I actually got into doing improv and was on the improv team.
Did you have an audition?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Oh my God. It was, well,
Excuse you.
pardon. When I auditioned for my improv team, this was when I was going to Drexel.
Mm-hmm.
And Drexel's improv team, the Drexel football team, shout out Drexel football team, to camera.
I was like, oh, they're okay.
They're here tonight.
Yeah.
It's a very intense audition process because it's like they have an open call, but so many people would sign up for the open call that there would be 2 or 3 nights of open call auditions.
Okay.
And you would go to the open call, and then you would wait for an email to be called back. And then
It was that competitive here?
and then you and the finalists would get called back and then do a callback audition that was like an hour and a half.
Whoa. An
And
hour
then
and a half
It was-
audition?
yeah, it was a lot.
What do you do?
Well, it was maybe an hour to an hour and a half.
You have to stay in a scene for an hour?
No, it was like the first round of auditions with like the open call situation was very, very simple improv games, like bus stop, like what are you doing? A lot of team-based games, and
Bus stop, what are you doing? And team. Okay, I'm following. I'm
like
picturing.
big group games, like
Yeah,
zip
yeah.
zap, not zip zap zop, but you'd like do warm-up games.
Okay, sure.
Pretty much. And then when you got called back for callbacks, you would do that was so stupid. When you would get called back for callbacks, you would do like improvised character monologues and improv that was very physical, and improv that was like based off of what else did we do? We did improv that was like gimmick games. Like there was a game that my improv team did called No P, where you would to do a whole scene without using the word P. And if you use the word P, you were out and tagged out.
A word with the letter P.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, we did
That's
stuff
pretty
like
fun.
that. And then when I got on the team,
Mm-hmm.
I was like involved with auditions the next year.
Oh, cool.
And then I really got the inside.
Yeah.
Like it was so much like after the first round of like open auditions, everyone would leave, and then me and the other team members would go through every person and vote, and had to be unanimous votes
Oh,
about
wow.
like who we were calling back, and the people who were the holdouts saying no or saying yes would have to say why. And then we would have to do another vote, and it had to be unanimous.
So it's like 12 Angry Men. But
Pretty
for-
much.
but
Pretty
for
much.
improv, okay.
And the deliberations would last a long time because people would really make their case and
Really?
really fight for certain people to get through.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was great. And then
Yeah.
like when we got to callbacks, it was even more intense. Like there was 2 nights of callbacks, and on the last night was when we did like the full deliberation of who's going to get on the team. We were talking for like 2 hours about who was going to make it.
Wow.
It was wild.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you have that many people come through, how big is the team?
The team at its like largest point while I was on, because like, you know, people graduating, people going on the team, it was like 12 or 13 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very, very competitive.
Yeah. And
Wow.
like every year, I mean, both years that I was involved with auditions as a team member, over 50 to 60 people signed up to audition. And like every year we would
Okay.
usually take in like 3 or 4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is intense. I
It
didn't
was
realize-
really crazy. It was really competitive. I think I'm showing my teeth. Yeah, it was really competitive.
I can see it. No, it was,
Fuck.
they can all see it too. Well, yeah, I didn't know. Well, I don't know. I guess I talked with Ty Wood about improv,
Mhm.
and we both kind of made fun of it a lot.
Everyone does. Hey, you know what? I will defend improv until the day that I die. I will defend improv more than I defend stand-up.
Well, really?
But yeah.
Wow. Well, this is actually this isn't what the topic was supposed to be, but we can dive into it.
We can get into it a little
Well,
bit.
because I haven't had a person who has been in improv really talk about. I had somebody like first era back in like 2020. On that did improv and talked about it a little bit, but I just all these games you're using some zip zap zop. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Coming in with the lingo.
Yeah, with the lingo. It's actually really intriguing to me. So it was super competitive, which again I did not realize. And how long did it take for you to learn everything? Like within the first year, did you feel pretty comfortable with all the games and terminology, or?
Oh, no, not at all. It was like the most intense imposter syndrome I've ever met.
Oh, really?
Ever met? Ever had. Me meeting my imposter syndrome. It was like, the first year of stand-up, I had a lot of imposter syndrome feelings, but at least when I started stand-up, I had been performing on stage.
For a while.
When I started improv, I really didn't have any stage experience and was like so nervous to be on stage in front of people in general. But like extra nervous because I was doing improv and was doing these games that I was learning like as I was going. And also all the people, because the audition process was so intense, all the people who were already on the team were amazing.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
The vice president of the team at the time when I auditioned is now the artistic director of Comedy Sports, which is where I do improv.
Okay, yeah.
And like, and
wow.
yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And like the people who I was on the team with are still performers now. Like they do professional shows, and it's like it was a huge deal to get on the team.
Yeah. Well, congrats.
Thank you. It was like it felt really. I was grateful, but also I was terrified because I was like, "Fuck, these people are really funny and really, really good," and I feel like I was given like a fluke shot at being on the same.
So they're all funny and hilarious. How often did you meet?
We had a lot of practice. That's why we were like really good.
Yeah.
We practiced twice a week. We practice on, let me see if I can remember, Wednesdays and Sundays. The Wednesday practice was 2 hours. The Sunday practice was 2.5.
Whoa.
Well, we would like have a 2.5, 3 hour practice and then go out and get ice cream after.
Oh.
We would hang out all the time.
Yeah, so it just probably became your group of friends anyways.
And there's actually a Google Doc in like the team's folder.
Yeah.
That is like just all of the inside jokes. And it's like that Google Doc has been going since 2005 when the team started.
Oh, wow.
And so we'll look back to like the quotes that were written down in 2006 and be like, I don't know what this means, but they probably were really laughing.
They probably thought it was fucking hilarious.
They probably thought it was fucking great.
Yeah. No, that's great. But are you allowed to reuse things within each scene, or like I guess it's improv, so you're not. But you have tools, you know what I mean? You have things that you could pull out for.
Oh yeah.
Each scene.
Yeah, you're not supposed to pre-prov, which is like think of what you're gonna do before you get on stage. But, like, there are certain things that you can lean on. Like, my Jake, who is now my artistic director, was really helpful when I started in, like, teaching me about how physicality helps in improv. Like, if you don't know what to do when you're on stage, just, like...
Hit him with one of these.
We'll just make a physical choice.
Okay.
And then that physical choice will be your character. Like, if you're going on stage and you have no idea what you're going to do, raise your shoulders up.
You start like twitching out or something.
And then like once you raise your shoulder up, then you can make your voice fit your shoulders being up.
Yeah.
And then once you have the voice, like you got it.
You're already in. Yeah, the character kind of helps. Yeah, they say that it's kind of like that with acting when people have to put on a certain type of makeup that's like a heavy makeup, or put on a bald cap. You like act balder. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Act balder.
Yeah. Yeah, but you take an affectation and then make it your part of your entire character. But that's cool. So when you started, did you want to? I mean, did you have aspirations with it, or were you just doing it as like a thing in college?
I had always wanted to perform generally, but I was really afraid to. Well, I'd wanted to do improv and stand up. It just so happened that like improv got to me first.
Yeah.
Like I had the first opportunity to do it before I had the first opportunity to do stand up.
Yeah, and who told you were funny?
Oh,
still
someone had the nerve. Someone had a real nerve
Yeah.
to tell me that I was funny.
Right.
I don't know, like, I don't know when I decided that I wanted to do that. I just, like, I don't know. My parents always say, like, you always wanted to put on shows in, like, the living room. And I was like, well, that's annoying. I'm so sorry. You were my parents.
I thought it was cute.
Sorry you had to suffer through that.
Yeah.
And me being a drama queen.
Yeah.
But
Haven't
yeah.
talked to him in 10 years. Yeah, no, that's cool though. So you didn't really have any aspirations. When you wanted to be a performer.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So-
like, all I've ever wanted to do was go on a stand-up tour and be on Saturday Night Live.
Really?
That's like what I wanted to do when I was like 10 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Big fan of SNL.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was a big fan of the SNL era that we grew up in. 2000.
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah, 2006 to 2014. Amazing SNL era.
Have you seen that James Franco documentary on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah.
And there's that scene where it's John Mulaney and Bill Hader writing that sketch.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
fucking funny. And it's like John Mulaney and Bill Hader writing a sketch in their office, and then across the wall is Kristen Wiig and Paula Pell,
good.
like writing a sketch.
Mhm.
And then across that hallway
So
is
funny.
like Fred Armisen and Will Forte writing a sketch.
Oh,
I'm
it's
like,
the
God
best. It's
damn,
like peak.
how did they? That's insane that they all existed
Yeah.
together at the same time.
But that's cool that was so. Yeah, so you had always known you wanted to do that. Improv probably felt like a step in that direction for
Yeah.
you. And then was there a moment when you realized you were like, oh yeah, this is it. Like I'm good. And because that first year you had imposter syndrome the whole time, but there must have been like a moment that made you keep coming back and do it again the next year.
Yeah. I mean, like, when we like practiced for a while without doing shows, and then the first show was coming up and I was really nervous. Felt a little bit better because I like knew how the games worked, and I was like getting to know my team members as friends and as people. And then the first show came and it went really well. And our shows were like pretty popular on campus. There would be times where we would get like over 60 to 70 people in a show.
Dang.
That was like occasional. That was our peak.
Yeah.
But we would get like close to 70 people sometimes, and it was like a big ass audience.
Yeah.
And it went well enough for me to be like, I'm not gonna quit the team. And yeah, I just kept coming back because I didn't completely bomb.
Nice.
But like I said that I would defend improv before I would
Yeah.
defend stand up. And I'm so happy that I did improv first because it's so team oriented and so supportive.
Yeah.
And it really like no, stand up is not.
It's not like that at all.
If I had started with stand up before improv, I would have never gotten on stage again.
Really?
like-
After that first. Oh wow. Yeah.
Cause like doing improv, getting on stage is so scary.
Mhm.
It is so scary to get in front of an audience of people.
And make yourself vulnerable. In front of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to do that at all is terrifying.
Right.
I'm so glad I didn't do it alone
Okay.
for my first time.
Yeah.
If I had done it alone, oh my God, holy shit.
Yeah.
It would have ruined me. But I was just like lucky enough to have a group of people there
Okay.
to be like, we got you.
Yeah.
If you start to freak out, it's all going to be okay.
And that's why you defend it, because of the collaboration aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 100%. Also, it's just like, I don't know, it's collaborative, it's supportive. You do things that you would never expect yourself to do, but in like a good way. Cause like it
Like
just
one finger up the butt, like
like just in front of
in
like
front
your
of the-
parents.
in front of, yeah,
Because
exactly.
you invited them to the show.
Right. And it would be funny.
Right. And like you didn't know that the scene was going to take you there, but you have to support.
Yes, and
Yes, and.
second finger.
Yeah, more like yes, but.
Aw.
But yeah, I don't know. You just go out there and you just do things because that's where the scene is taking you, and you're just like, all right, I guess I'm doing this. I guess I'm like there was a time where I got on all fours and pretended to be a cow while my teammate milked me. And I was just like, okay. This is not what I thought I was going to do.
Doesn't awaken something.
Yeah. It's like, this is not what I thought my Friday night was going to be like. But, like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm a cow getting milked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It forces you to release your inhibitions and feel the rain on your skin.
Right. Yeah. No, I love it. That sounds really cool. And yeah, I mean, that is something that definitely like I felt was not missing, but like within stand up is such a singular event. Like it's very individual based, and it helped me because I started like right after COVID.
Mm.
So it was like a year after COVID, maybe.
Same.
Basically, it was, a lot of people had just started then coming out of the pandemic and trying to get back out. It was their first time.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of, there was like, 5 or 6 new people that started with me that I know still do it today, which is cool.
Yeah.
But they were kind of the group, the group of newbies. So it was like there was a little bit of an aspect of coming together. But I mean, in general, it's hard to like, there is like a seasonal thing within stand up. But in general, it's like you just show up one day,
Yep.
and then you're the new person if you stick around, if you stick around or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like if your comedy isn't even like remotely funny, nobody's gonna talk to you. You know what I mean? Those first times. Yeah.
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 It's just tough.
It is really tough. Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, like it's a weird social scene to be in.
Yeah. But we don't have to. So you.
No, we don't have to get into that.
So you did the improv for 2 years.
Yep.
And then after that, did you graduate or?
No, never graduated college.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, I stopped going to Drexel because I ran out of money, and then COVID happened, and so it's probably a good thing I dropped out when I did.
Yeah.
And then I tried to go back to school,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to Temple, and then I stopped going again because I also ran out of money. So I still haven't graduated college, but
Okay.
to be determined.
Right.
That.
I wasn't trying to shame you for not
Oh
graduating.
no, I just wanted to.
But now I am.
But now, fucking loser.
Fucking twice, dude. Come on.
Get a grip.
Yeah. No, but you. How did you continue on? So you didn't do improv through the school anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID hit, you probably did the same thing as everybody else and stayed inside for a while.
Yeah.
And then after that, did you get back into finding some community improv scene or like some Philly, like the thing that you're still a part of, or did you go straight to stand up and then get back into it? Like, what was the?
I continued to do improv because I was still in like the group chat for the Drexel football team, and one of the
so it was the football team that is the name of it.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, did she? I was just gonna roll with
no,
it.
it's because Drexel doesn't have a football team. That's the whole joke.
Okay.
But I was in the Drexel football team group chat, and one of the former presidents, this guy named Dom, who loved Dom, he sent out a link that was like, hey, if any of you are interested, Comedy Sports is having open auditions. Sign up and
is that
show
like
up.
the main Philly improv group?
And there's a couple of places, but like Comedy Sports is, I think, the largest and has been going for the longest.
Okay.
So I signed up to do those open call auditions because I was like, I haven't done improv in over a year, but fuck it, I miss doing improv. Then I went to that open call audition, and the solo audition that I did was one of the best moments of improv I've ever had in my life, which was crazy because I was going into the audition thinking like, this might suck. I haven't done improv in a long time. I'm really, really rusty, but we'll just go in being optimistic. And then I murdered.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was and then Campbell said, fuck you, dude.
Exactly. But I did really well in my initial audition, which was just me and like the members of the team. And they would like come up and do scenes with me, and it was really fun. And then I came in for the callback, and I was feeling very good about myself because my first audition went really well, and then I felt like I bombed during callbacks because the callback audition was like a whole group situation. So there was like me and 10 other people, and I just felt like I fucking ate shit. And it was real. I felt like really rough, and I was like, "Oh God."
Yeah.
But then I got the call. I got on the team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did they say, yeah, your first one was so good that we tried to just not look at the second one at all?
Yeah, your first one carried it. No, they just like it felt very formal because I like got an actual phone call.
Right. Yeah.
And like I was on a mega bus.
Hello?
Yeah, literally. And I was on a mega bus home because I was going home for Thanksgiving. And the artistic director at the time, Kristen, called me and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that like you're a official member of the Comedy Sports House team. And I was like, whoa, thank you so much. But yeah, that was in 2022.
Okay.
So it's coming up on my 2-year, or no, 2021. So it's coming up on my 3-year anniversary
Wow.
with Comedy Sports, which is cool. And then I started doing stand-up right after that.
Immediately after.
Not immediately after, but like after I got on the team.
You got the phone call.
And I said, we're
Stand up
going to
tonight."
keep it rolling.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah,
it
yeah.
rolling. It's just, let's do all levels
This
of
is all of it.
performance.
Yeah. How can I
Yeah.
knock myself down as much as possible?
Literally,
after
like,
that?
you know what? I got this win.
Yeah.
Let's absolutely ruin it.
Right.
But I started doing stand-up like pretty soon after I got on the team.
Okay. Well, what was
Yeah.
your starting mic?
Fergie's.
Fergie's?
Fergie's.
Oh, yeah.
Fergie's
I
new
did know
material.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The new material mic.
New
was-
material mic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Very cool. But yeah, I was wondering about the one in Philly. What's it called again? Sports?
Comedy sports. Yeah.
Yeah, because in Chicago it's a very, very big thing, and they have that one big established one that is the Black Sheep. Is that what it's called?
Wait, what?
Isn't Chicago like huge for improv?
Yeah, they got Second City. They
Second
got
City is the
Improv
one I was thinking
Olympic.
of,
They
yeah.
got Second City, Improv Olympic, and there's another one that I'm blanking out on. Well, they have Comedy Sports Chicago is pretty big.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Because comedy sports is like, I'm part of Comedy Sports Philly, but
Right.
there's comedy sports clubs across the country. The
Oh,
first one,
okay.
I think, was Comedy Sports in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
and then it turned into like a nationwide thing.
Nationwide thing. Do they like talk to each other and like mix and mingle the improv
Mhm.
groups and everything?
Yeah,
It sounds
sometimes
so-
like when a player is like traveling,
Mhm.
there was a player who was part of Comedy Sports Las Vegas.
Yeah.
She was coming to Philly to like visit her sister or something.
Mhm.
And while she was in Philly, she emailed the executive director of Comedy Sports Philly and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Philly during the weekend. Can I play?"
Yeah.
Because we play like we do the same show.
Okay.
The show structure is the same, but we just do different games within the structure.
Mhm.
So she like knew how it was gonna work, and so she was like, "Hey, can I come in on Saturday night and like play as a visiting player?" And she like played with me and my other team members, and it was great.
Nice.
So if I like travel and go, because there's a Comedy Sports in like pretty much every major city
Okay.
in the country. So if I go to like any major city, I can hit them up and be like, "Hey, can I pop by and be in a show?" And they'll most likely say yes,
Right.
which is
They're
cool.
like, can we see your tape?
Yeah.
Actually?
Oh God. If we don't know you, submit a tape.
Yeah. No, that's cool that it's because I know the one in Chicago because it's so established or whatever that it's probably if you get into that group it's a really good credit to have, and then you can use that to potentially get into like an SNL or
Yeah.
another comedy writing job or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just kind of wondering like what the structure of it was, but that sounds cool. It sounds like now that you have been, how long have you been there for 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can try different stuff, but you decided to also do stand up,
Yeah.
which you've been doing for like what 3
2 years.
2 years now.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Little
Also
over 2
cool.
years.
Do you find that the two help? Is there any overlap between the two? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
aside from the performance.
Improv helps me do stand up because like stand up, you try to plan your set the best you can. But sometimes like there's someone in the audience who wants to talk to you, or there's like
Yeah.
something that happens in the moment that you can't plan for.
Mm-hmm.
So improv really helps with that. It also just like helps you with your stage presence.
Okay.
It also just helps me act really silly. I take stand up really seriously because I like take performing seriously.
For a bunch of comics, y'all take this shit so serious.
But I take it seriously, but then I try to like act like a freak as much as I can on stage.
Right.
And improv is definitely where I release my inhibitions and feel the rain
And
on
feel
my
the rain on your
skin
skin,
the
yeah.
most. And
Right.
then stand up helps with improv just because like stand up is so terrifying
Mm,
and it takes so much longer to get used to, at least in my experience.
yeah.
That like
I just stopped doing it.
it's so scary, or it was so scary when I was starting out.
Mhm.
But then eventually I got comfortable enough with stand up where I was like, all right, well, I am starting to feel comfortable by myself on stage, so that means I can do anything. Like I can do anything.
I am a god.
It's kind of.
We all are.
Like it helped me be more comfortable in front of a crowd. Because once I started doing stand up, I would do stand up shows, and then I would do improv shows, and I wouldn't be like, this improv shit's easy now, but I would definitely be like, this is less intimidating than doing stand up. And it would be more fun to do improv.
Yeah. Okay. So there's still you don't feel like unmotivated to do either one because of the other one.
I need both.
You need both.
I need to do both
to feed into the.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So you are now at a point within stand up. I don't know. I mean, how much has changed with improv? Where are you at with improv right now? Do you just keep? I don't know if there's a levels or like. You're 3 years in, you just keep doing it?
Keep on rolling. I mean, like, the worlds have kind of merged because the PowerPoint show that I do is at my improv theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very
and
cool.
I am able to do that show because I'm a house team member, because I'm on the improv house team, and so they kind of have intersected now.
So you established enough there, and then you do stand up long enough to where you get comfortable. And this is what we were also talking about: is you also don't feel like you do open mics all the time anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I still do them as much as I can,
of course,
just to churn out the new stuff and be humbled
and keep writing. Oh,
yeah, and be humbled. Yeah, I now that I have a pretty set 10-minute, 15-minute, and 20-minute set.
Yeah.
That I'm comfortable with. If I only did shows with those sets, I wouldn't be some shows might be horrible, but I need the open mics to remind myself, oh, right, sometimes I suck.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sometimes I'm awful at this. I need to go to open mics.
Sure.
But I don't have to go every single night anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. Great. Sick.
That's amazing for the mental health, for sure.
Oh, man. I was starting to get to a point where I was losing friendships.
Yeah, but that's cool. So you got to that point within stand-up. I think within comedy, it's like the natural next stage after just starting an open mic is hosting one.
Yeah.
And I know you did some Fergie shows early on. Did you ever host one before you started this show, or did you just jump in and start going ahead with the PowerPoint?
I've hosted some showcases. I had hosted
the Next in Line a couple of
times. I've hosted a Next in Line show. I hosted a Don't Tell show once or twice before doing the PowerPoint show. And then
that's weird. Does somebody run both of those?
Oh, what if there's a common thread there?
Yeah. But don't tell.
But shh. Everyone shut up.
Okay.
And I hosted an open mic in West Philly for a while. That was very, very valuable experience and very good for me to host a mic every week. But it was just tough because it was on a Wednesday, and as you know, there are 5 mics in the city on Wednesday.
Yeah. And
it was also far away. It was in West Philly.
Right.
And so, there would be a lot of nights where there would be 1 or 2 comics coming to sign up, and then there would be some nights where no one would come and sign up.
Yeah.
So eventually I was just like, all right, this has been great while I've been doing it, but I think that I should move on. And so I stopped doing that. And then I just burped into the mic. Great. And then
we'll get a different audience if you keep doing it.
And then
get the freaks.
Woo! Get on here. Should I take my shoes off? And then eventually I started doing the PowerPoint show.
Okay. Yeah. What was the idea behind that?
Well, it wasn't my idea. I mean, it was my show was my idea, but in general, PowerPoint shows.
We got it. No.
In general, PowerPoint shows have been a thing for a long time. I just brought the first PowerPoint show that Comedy Sports had ever done. But a lot of people have been doing them for a while, and I specifically was thinking about how me and my friends, while we were quarantined, would FaceTime each other and have PowerPoint nights where we would get in a Zoom call, and then each person would share their screen and present PowerPoints that we made. So I was thinking about that, and then I just was talking about it during improv practice, and then nothing happened because it was just like something I was throwing out. And then like a couple weeks later, my the executive director of Comedy Sports, Don, shout out Don, keep pointing to camera. Shout out Don. He was like, "Oh, that PowerPoint thing you were talking about. We're about to start a new season of like new shows cuz like Comedy Sports has the Comedy Sports show every Saturday, but then they have like open slots during the week where like people can come to them and pitch their show, and then Comedy Sports can be like, "Yeah, you do it at this time and on this night. Cool."
Oh.
So he was like, "We're starting a new season where we have like open show slots if you like wanted to actually move forward with that and like write a summary of what the show will be and send it to the leadership team. You could like do that show."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh,
Oh shit.
shit. I have to like submit like a statement about what the show
I
is."
guess I gotta do the show now.
Yeah, well, you got me there, bud. You
Yeah.
got me there. And so I like, emailed the leadership team like, "Hello, this is the show that I would like to put on."
Right. So the show is.
The show is
Here's the show.
Here's the show.
Okay.
Here's the statement.
This is the pitch.
So it's me hosting. And
It's all about me.
all about me. Spotlight on me. Spotlight.
About how I'm not ugly anymore.
Not ugly anymore, and that I used to be hideous, and now that's over. I used
the
to
whole
be
And
ugly and busted.
And I look really good
And
now.
after years of
trial and tribulation.
yeah, after years of just absolutely cleansing myself, like self with laxatives and reconstructive facial surgery,
Mostly the laxatives.
it's turned around.
Okay.
We've turned the ship around.
Right.
But it's just it's me with a single spotlight for the whole show. It's not, but it's me hosting and 3 or 4 other comedians doing 10 to 15-minute PowerPoint presentations about whatever we want.
Oh wow. So it
And
can be about anything.
It can be about anything.
It's kind of like this show.
Yeah, it can be about it can be about anything. That's the beauty
Except
of it.
mine is 45 minutes long and nobody cares.
I care, Steve.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But you can do it about whatever you want. And that actually is like what kind of intimidates comics when I ask them to be on the show.
Yeah, well,
'Cause,
that's
like-
what another thing I wanted to get into is like mixing the two worlds. This
Yeah.
is you mixing two parties,
Mm-hmm.
which must be kind of scary, espally knowing comics, you know.
Yeah, well, I only asked the cool ones to be on the show. It's actually
So if you haven't been invited,
yeah, that says something. No, just kidding. Love you.
I haven't been, so it's fine.
There's it actually usually I will be doing the Comedy Sports improv show at 7 and then right after doing the PowerPoint show at 9.
Oh wow!
So I'll do both in one night.
So you probably all warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah.
By that time.
Yeah, it's
That's cool.
really it's nice to do the improv show before
And
so
then you
I can
probably
like
people stick around too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I can like get my energy out and like get the nervousness out and then be very tired but very ready to do the PowerPoint show.
Yeah.
But when I've approached comics to do it,
Mhm.
they'll say yes and they'll be excited. But then like I usually approach them a month in advance of the
Right.
show so they have time to put the presentation together. And I'll ask them to do it, they'll say yes.
Mhm.
And then a week later, they'll either message me or come up to me in person at an open mic and be like, "Hey, I just wanted to double check. It can be about anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, anything." And they say, "Anything, really? Like I can do it about anything." And I said, "Yeah, anything you can talk about for 10 to 15 minutes, you can do it."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Real? Like are you like you're sure?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, just the show's never had like a theme."
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing a theme for October to do it as like spooky season,
Right.
but I was like, no, I just want to keep it as you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
But they're just like, "Really? Are you sure? You're sure it can be anything?" I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, as long as it's not like, harmful and fucked up and bad
Yeah.
and offensive, then you
Right.
can do anything you want."
Right.
Yeah, and it's fun to like also
Make them create a thing that they
Yeah.
have to focus on for 15 minutes, and if it starts bombing, you can't switch to another
yeah,
thing.
you can't switch it.
Yeah.
You can't start doing crowd work.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got 15 more slides.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta
And
get through
Adam Flick was on the August show.
Mhm.
And in like the, Instagram group message with the other people who were on the show,
Mhm.
I like, sent the, "Hey, thanks for doing the show. This is what you need to submit. Send it to my email at this time during like this day."
Yeah.
And after I sent that message, he responded, "Thanks for the homework, teach."
Yeah, that's basically
I'm like,
it.
yeah, I
It really,
am.
well, it is. I mean, I created PowerPoints for school. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
it's like the first, like the more I've done the show, the more I've thought about like PowerPoint as a medium, and it made me think about how like doing a PowerPoint presentation in school is most people's first performance.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
It is true.
it's like
That's why I was crushed. That's why I
Yeah.
was crushed in school.
Yeah, that's why I bodied.
Yeah.
It's like, I killed.
Yeah.
My slide deck was sick. But it's fun.
You put that on resumes now? Excel, PowerPoint,
yeah. PowerPoint genius.
PowerPoint genius.
Yeah, PowerPoint
Expert.
influencer.
Influencer. I mean,
Literally.
basically.
Kind of. I mean, I do one for every show.
Right.
Yeah, and this is
That's
show.
the whole show.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to do one.
Mm-hmm.
If there are 4 comedians
Oh.
and they do, usually, I say 10 to 15 minutes, but usually they go over 10. And sometimes they go over 15. Like sometimes it's,
Too much.
Yeah, sometimes it's like 16 to 20 minutes, which is fine if it's funny
right.
and like they have a really good, like Zach Travis did an unbelievable PowerPoint.
Really?
It was crazy. It was performance art. Like it wasn't a stand-up thing. It wasn't a PowerPoint thing. It was like a straight up performance art piece where like he had props. He was full on acting. He had like voice recordings and sound effects and animations, and it was like a full show within the show.
Yeah.
And his presentation was probably like 18 to 20 minutes.
Damn.
But it was so good and everyone was so enthralled
Yeah.
that like I didn't give a fuck that he went over time. Like
Yeah.
I don't care. It was worth it. Absolutely worth it. But like if everyone's doing about 15 minutes and there's 4, then like that fills up the showtime.
Yeah.
I don't have to do one. I just want to. I could just host, but I
really want
to do one.
I want people to know that I'm not ugly anymore.
Yes,
No,
God.
I'm sorry to keep bringing that one up. But what have, yeah, so that's a really good example of the Zach Travis one. Have there ever been other standouts? That you can
Oh
remember?
man, Zach Travis's was great. Liam Paris and Andrew. God, I never know how to pronounce Andrew's last name. It's either Shearer or Schreier or. This is embarrassing because Andrew is a friend, but everyone will know who I'm talking about. Sure. Liam Paris and Andrew Schreier. Sorry, Andrew, you're great. They had PowerPoints in the chamber before I even asked them to do the show.
I saw Liam had done a couple of
they were both already prepped. Right. They didn't even have to make one.
Yeah.
So both of them were really good. Lauren Ellis's was amazing. I've asked Lauren Ellis and Noah Wood to come back more than once.
Oh wow.
Because they were both incredibly, incredibly funny. Also Amber Bourne was amazing.
Yeah.
And Amber Bourne was arguably the most nervous during the week before the show. Whenever we'd see each other at mics, she would come up to me and be like, "I'm working on my PowerPoint, but like, I honestly don't really know what to do, and I think it's gonna be bad, and like, I don't
That's
really."
A good impression.
Thanks. My Amber Bourne, yeah, it's so good. It's like I melt into her. But she was like, "I don't really know if it's gonna work, and I'm afraid it's gonna be bad." And I was like, "No, Amber, you're funny. It's gonna work if you're funny, and you are funny."
Right.
But she was like so nervous about just like doing the PowerPoint medium. And then hers has been one of the funniest ones like ever.
Yeah.
So Amber's.
Well, so what topics? I mean, like, have people chosen to do?
Well, Amber's was about bears.
Okay.
Amber's did her PowerPoint about bears.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Adam Flick did his about how Gucci Mane's album is tied to the 2008 financial crisis.
Okay.
That one was awesome.
That's pretty hard.
Lauren Ellis did hers about manifestation and like affirmations.
Sure.
Noah Wood, the first Noah Wood presentation was about which Greek gods he would sleep with.
Oh.
Yeah. And then his second presentation was his coming out as straight presentation.
Okay.
Which is very good.
That's fun. Well, that's cool. It sounds like it's been really fun for you to organize and put together and like an excuse for you to do it as well, something that you obviously love doing, you know?
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, and then bringing those two worlds together so that way you can do improv on a Friday night and then also kind of stand up, but like
Yeah.
your own show or whatever.
Do a whole other type of performing,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool. And it's like I love doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a lot of work.
Mm.
I mean, not a lot of work. I'm making a silly PowerPoint, but like hours wise, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel bad about asking people to do the show
Yeah.
because it does take a good amount of time to make a PowerPoint.
Right.
And like,
You give them a month though.
I give them
is
a month, and like the show is paid.
Oh,
So,
that's cool.
I hope that is enough for them to be like, I'm good with putting in this labor to make this PowerPoint.
Right.
Because sometimes like, well, the longest one that I've made, which was also like my favorite one, it took probably a total, if I made it over the course of a few days, and if I added up the hours, it probably took like 12 to 15 hours to make.
Damn. Yeah. Wow, that's like a whole
Yeah.
production, a whole
Yeah,
project.
it was because I had to like do research and take a lot of screenshots and like do the animations. And there was one slide that had 19 animations in one slide.
Whoa.
And I had to like layer all of those. And then I also had music in the PowerPoint. And then I had to like rehearse the cues. Because sometimes I get so mad at myself because the ones that have done badly, or I felt like I done badly, are mostly because like I wasn't feeling good before I got on stage, and then that not feeling good translated to me missing cues.
Mm-hmm.
Because like sometimes there are bullet points or images that fly onto the screen,
Yeah.
and I'm supposed to say a
And
prelude.
Yeah. So it's kind of like when stand up, when you start bombing and then you forget like the bridge to the next joke or something like
Yep.
that.
And
Yeah,
then it just snowballs and it becomes worse.
Right.
And like I'll be like, when I've done badly on the show, I'll be clicking through and literally like click forward and be like, oh, I was supposed to say something about this and I didn't, but here's what I was gonna say about this, and then I forgot because I suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where the improv comes in.
That's where the improv comes in.
Mhm.
But like, you're like you said before, if you're bombing, you're trapped.
You're trapped.
You're trapped, and
You gotta figure it out.
you gotta figure it out. Can't really change course.
Yeah.
Because you spent hours planning this thing.
Yeah.
This is the I don't know, this is the only thing besides the open mic that like I have hosted and I am making. And like the open mic, I was hosting and I was in charge of it, but it was still like, this is an open mic. But this is like the first thing where I'm like, oh, this is my thing that I am hosting and producing, and like we have to figure it out. And the first like 3 shows were really, really scary because of that.
Right.
Because of the imposter syndrome of being like, who let me do this?
Well, you have to like direct the whole thing. You know what I mean? You have to be on your shit and like, making sure who's up next, and what the PowerPoints are about, and introducing people, and making sure you're on time and all that stuff.
Also like coordinating like the because there's technical elements to the show, like
Right.
coordinating between, I'm like the middleman between the people who are making the slides, like the performers, and like the theater itself. And like
Right.
if one of the comics DMs me and is like, hey, I have this song, or I have this video that I want to put into my slides, will that work? I'll have to email the theater and be like, hey, or not the theater, but like whoever's doing tech that night, I'll have to be like, hey, will this work? Like, will this work with the computer? Will this mess anything up? And just relaying information. And sometimes I'll get someone's PowerPoint and send it over to whoever's doing tech, and they'll load it up onto the computer in the theater and be like, hey, this is completely not working with the computer that's in the theater. Can they send it in a different format? And I have to be like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are technical difficulties, but it sounds like you're gaining skills and learning emotion management.
Oh yeah, I'm trying.
And-
Trying my best. Yeah.
It does sound like a full production, but definitely plays into the dream of being that performer, and like is going to help establish, like you said, I mean, even within stand-up, just like having your name and your face be known
Yeah.
helps a lot. And then having this extra element for another reason for people to enjoy you and the stuff that you do. On top of that, make them want to work with you more, or make them want to recommend you more, things like that too.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Shouts out. we should do. Where can people find the show and
and
find all that information and details?
Well, follow me on Instagram at MaveH43. That's where I post all my stuff. Follow me there. And next show is gonna be December 15th. Next show from like when this comes out.
Right.
December 15th, which is a Saturday. Come to that pre-Christmas show. It's gonna be a banger lineup. I'm already thinking about it, already ruminating.
Yeah. Is it every second Saturday or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Every second Saturday. December 15th and then every second Saturday in the future. That's the whole thing. The show's called Get to the Point. If you ever see flyers on poles on the street.
Oh, they're all over the place. I see them everywhere.
You see them? Yay!
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. I always hang up physical flyers, but I never know if that works. I just like hang them because I think it's fun to design flyers.
Right.
And whenever I start a show, I'm always like, can I ask you guys how you found out about the show? And at least 2 people will be like, I saw a poster on the street. And I'm like, it worked.
It worked.
And so, if at least one person comes to the show because of a flyer, I'm happy.
Hell yeah.
I'm happy that I spent 4 hours walking around putting them up. Thank God it worked. Get to the point every second Saturday. That's it.
Cool. I hope in the next show after this, or the December show, or somebody's like, oh, I heard about it on a podcast.
Yeah, true.
That would be sick.
True.
But thanks for coming on and talking about it. I think it was really good, fun time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll wrap.